Now we are studying the lesson nutrition. As a part of this lesson, we have to study the process of photosynthesis. We know that the process of photosynthesis requires certain raw materials or factors like carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. That means there is a relationship between light and the photosynthesis. To study this, we need to know something about the energy. For this, we have to go back to the time of Priestley. During the time of Priestley, scientists did not understand about energy, but later on much was discovered about the energy. That means here when we talk about energy, if energy is released during the combination reaction of oxygen with the carbon and oxygen with the hydrogen, what would be the reverse? This is the combination reaction, that is oxygen combines with the carbon, oxygen combines with the hydrogen. What would be the reverse? That means for the formation of the oxygen back and to be released into the atmosphere, what is the energy situation? Eventually scientists have found out that the energy situation would be reversed. That means energy is used for the formation of the oxygen. That means if plants have to form the oxygen, they need to get the energy. Where from the plants are getting energy? To find an answer for this question, a Dutch scientist by name Jan Ingenhousz has conducted the experiment in 1779, and he has studied the way in which plants formed oxygen. For that he did the experiment with the hydrilla plants. These are the aquatic plants, and he has noticed that these hydrilla plants were giving out small bubbles during the bright sunlight, and these bubbles were not produced in the dark. And also he found that these small bubbles had oxygen in them. To further confirm or strengthen the experiment of the Jan Ingenhousz, one more scientist by name Engelmann has conducted the experiment in early 20th century, and he has detected the maximum rate of photosynthesis. For this, he has selected the algal strands and exposed them to different rays of the light, and he used oxygen sensitive bacteria, and he found that these oxygen sensitive bacteria have crowded around the area illuminated with red and blue rays of light. And these experiments have led to the studies of effect of light on the rate of photosynthesis, that is the effect of light on the photosynthesis, and the role of different colored compounds called pigments in the plants, and utilization of the light energy. So here we spoke about energy, the role of energy, and these experiments have given us the idea about the relationship between light and photosynthesis. Now let us perform one lab activity here. Let us do one lab activity and prove that oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in the presence of light. For this, we need to make a set with the following apparatus. So here we have got a test tube, we have got a beaker, we have got funnel, and we are going to take one hydrilla plant. So what we do is, first you take the funnel and you insert the hydrilla plant into the funnel, and place the funnel in the beaker. Then you pour water into the beaker. See that the stem of the funnel will be totally dipping in the water. That means the level of the water should be above the stem of the funnel. Then take the test tube, fill the test tube with the water fully and place the test tube over the funnel in an inverted position. Then take the whole setup and place the whole setup in the sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. While the photosynthesis activity is going on in this setup, we can see the bubbles of the gases, small bubbles of the gases emitting out from the hydrilla plant and traveling in the upward direction. I have told you that you have taken water full in the test tube. Now when the photosynthesis is going on, you can see the small bubbles traveling in the upward direction and getting deposited in the upper region of the test tube. So this experiment should be conducted in the presence of sunlight. So we have placed the whole setup in the sunlight and leave this setup for 3 to 4 hours so that good volume of the gas will be collected in the test tube. Now to test the gas, what gas is emitted out of this hydrilla plant, to test it, what we do is we carefully take out the test tube and while taking the test tube out, we place our thumb at the mouth of the test tube and we carefully take it out like this. Now what we do is, we have taken out the test tube. Imagine that this is the test tube and here we have got water and here the gas was collected. Now what we do is, we take one burning matchstick and place it above here. So when you are placing a burning matchstick above this test tube, we can see it burns with more flames. It burns with more flames. So we know that oxygen encourages the fire. It burns with more flames. Okay. So with this we can confirm that the gas evolved here from the hydrilla plant was oxygen. So precautions should be taken so that we can take out the test tube carefully for testing the gas. So here we have proved that oxygen gas is produced during photosynthesis in the presence of light. So here the whole setup should be placed in the sunlight for 4 to 5 hours so that good volume of the gas is collected in the test tube. I have told you we can make 2 sets. You can place one set in the dark and one set in the sunlight. So we can clearly see the difference between the 2 sets. In the setup which we have placed in the dark, we will find that no gas is collected in the test tube, whereas the setup which we have placed in the sunlight, we can clearly see the deposition of the gas in the test tube. Okay. So this we have proved oxygen is produced during photosynthesis in the presence of light. Now let us perform one more activity. With this activity, we will prove that sunlight is necessary to form starch in the green plants. For this activity to be performed, we require a potted plant which is discharged. We know the process of discharging a plant. We have to place the plant in the dark for 3 to 4 days so that the whole starch present in the plant will be exhausted. Then we select a leaf on which we are going to place one black paper with a cut design in it, and this paper is fixed on the leaf with the help of the clips. Then the whole setup is kept in the sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. Then we are going to test the leaf on which the black paper with a cut design was placed. For the presence of starch, we are going to test it. For this purpose, we are going to stain the leaf with the iodine and find out which part of the leaf turns blue black. When you test it with the iodine, we can see the part of the leaf on which we have placed a black paper with a cut design has turned to blue black, indicating that this part which was exposed to sunlight has turned blue black, proving that starch is formed only in the presence of light. The remaining part is going to remain colorless, and the remaining part means the part which was covered with the black paper, which did not receive the sunlight, did not turn to blue black, indicating that without sunlight starch is not formed. So we have proved that sunlight is necessary to form starch in the green plants.